So last night I decided to try and actually get excited for Sims again and my gameplay, and actually get involved in a legacy challenge. The legacy challenge I chose was the Whimsy Stories one. However, I didn't realise how unprepared and unplanned I was for it, and I didn't realise until pretty much the very end that all the cool bits and bobs that people in their gameplays had was things I didn't have, because I didn't have the packs and the worlds and the stuffs and things like that. So I've probably already popped that video still up just because it was a fail, and it's good to learn from things not going the way you expect them to, and I'm sure I might have been able to salvage something from there. But I thought, you know, let's go through the behind the scenes of it and actually plan it through together. Since done a bit more research into sort of what ideas could work for certain challenges, what packs would make it better, because this particular challenge doesn't have, from what I've seen, a specific what do you call it, like a specific list of packs that are suitable for it. And that's probably why I stumbled and fell quite hard when I realised, you know, 2 hours into my playthrough, that I didn't have the means to continue, because I was almost not playing it as if it was a base game only, which I'm sure there are ways to do that, but I just didn't have the appropriate utensils for this kind of build up, right? So the idea of the Whimsy Stories by Caterade is that you've started from nothing. You've got like these humble beginnings. It's kind of like a gentle rags to riches. You do begin homeless, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the story as I start to do some planning. I'll switch over to a voiceover, but yeah, you sort of, in the first generation, get a nice little humble abode and start working for yourself as a freelancer. And the career paths that it was suggesting to max out, I didn't have them because I didn't have the specific packs. So I sort of thought, okay, let me just sit down, work out what would work best, what would be complementary to this legacy challenge, and then go from there, and then hopefully have a better success of it than I did with last night's gameplay, which I say I've still probably popped up on the channel, because as I say, you know, because you know, you learn from mistakes and confusion and, let's admit it, frustration. So I did decide to like scrap that world and kind of like restart it. At least that's what I'm thinking to do now, like at this sort of planning. My idea is to keep the name and the general idea of my founder character, my founder Sim, but I'm gonna completely like redo her, redo the world, well, as much as I can, and I'm probably going to wait until the packs that I think would be suitable for this particular challenge go on sale, because they are expensive. So let's switch to a different perspective and start mapping out this idea, shall we?
So we're using the name of Luna Grace as our founder Sim, but I am going to be starting from scratch in the last vid. I've just decided that's going to be happening. So my kind of idea for Luna is that she's from a toxic family, moving from house to house, and then, I don't know, like, I guess staying with family members and friends, because she comes from a home that was just not a strong environment for a young person growing up and trying to find themselves. She saved up and settled out on her own. It's kind of like a gentle rags to riches. She's a hard worker, scraped by with loads of part-time jobs while she was living at home. I'm thinking her family are kind of like really well off, and they've kind of like stepped outside of the family home. So they keep up appearances. So by that I mean like cheating's happened, but they keep up appearances. They try to kind of make it look like everything is fabulous and beautiful, and really all that pressure and anxiety and sadness is weighing heavily on Luna. So that's why she decided, look, I've got to get out of this place, even if that means I'm going to be living in a tent for a bit whilst I get my savings in order and find out what it's like to be living on my own. She's got a childhood best friend. This friend also didn't have a very good home life, but is more of a bohemian hippie kind of lifestyle, who is really into their eco living, and just decided that they wanted to go off and live in a more like a commune based home, and they've decided to invite Luna down there while she gets herself set up on her feet and show her around town. So yeah, I tried looking into what packs people were using for their Whimsy Stories gameplay and what may suit it well, because the thing I learned maybe too late when attempting it the first time is that I was starved for packs and worlds. Lord, they are so expensive. Anyway, the packs that seemed the best fitting and a little breakdown of them are as follows. There's Seasons, arriving to the world of Sims back in 2018. It provides distinct seasonal events and gameplay that can really create interesting story threads and challenges. I've seen a lot of Simmers say this is one of their top rated expansion packs and they really recommend it, so potentially that could be quite a good investment to have. Then of course there's Eco Lifestyle. This hit the shelves back in 2020. It adds a focus on sustainable living and environmental concerns, and it also offers unique gameplay mechanics and story possibilities, which is of course something that seems really beneficial to this legacy challenge. This is the one that I think people were getting functional tents from and being able to dumpster dive and things like that, and yeah, it just makes sense. I think that's where they were getting the what's that called, you know, the maker trait and the that machine that fabricates, the fabrication machine as well. Also, Cottage Living. This is the newest of the selection of suggestions that I've just spoken about, and this was coming out back in 2021. It's not really necessarily an important add-on, I would say, but if there was a pack I was ever going to get organically outside of a challenge, other than anything occult, which is what I already own, then it would probably be this one. It's just so beautiful. I love the cottagecore aesthetic, and from what I've seen, it adds a really rural setting, some interesting elements to the game, and also a focus on animals and farming. I'd be interested to know if I have to have pets as well, like Sims pets, or if this is its own contained like farm animals and you don't need any other animal packs. But yeah, that can be a great addition to adding the whimsicalness of the story, of course, Whimsy Stories legacy. Some other packs that could influence the gameplay beautifully are Island Living, Tiny Living, Dream Home Decorator, but I probably won't be doing all of that, depending on how invested I manage to get in this gameplay, or even other legacy challenges. I might pick them up as and when, if they're on sale and I like the looks of them, but yeah, they're not super important, but I just noticed they could add some really beautiful details into a fun playthrough. Got some ideas for plant names for children's for this first generation, such as Ash Grace, Hazel Grace and Iris Grace. A bit of a mouthful to say, but obviously that's not going to be super important until a little bit later on in the generation. So yeah, I ended up organising my mods folder as well. I definitely have a lot of custom content, and that was really helpful to do with the mod manager, which I was seeing quite a few people recommending in videos. So I got that sorted through, deleted old stuff. I was able to more better check through what was broken and what I just didn't vibe with anymore. And what was really good about the mod manager was that you can see thumbnails of the custom content that you're looking through. So when I went to my actual file explorer, I was just organizing in files, folders and different save spots, I think with CC, so anything that ends in packages, package, things like that, you can go up to 5 folders deep, but anything with like the Sims 4 script, you just keep them like the 1 folder deep, otherwise they won't be read or anything like that. So yeah, that is me all sorted. I think the last thing in terms of mod tidying up and CC tidying up is I really want to, now that I've got the space and I can see clearly what I've got, I also want to get the more than 3 columns CAS mods and also download some CAS backgrounds. But in terms of actual gameplay, I think the next video relating to this series will be creating some townies and a BFF to sort of just drop in the world. I think the BFF I'll probably place in a community lot alongside the townies as well, so they are technically like homeless. From what I've understood from research, that's kind of the best way to do that. I might assign some jobs to some of the townies, but I'm not super like fussed about that, and I might see if I can download some cool ones from the gallery. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I shall catch you in another video soon.